Nearly every day I'm asked, what is the best way to grow my Spotify? Should I use Facebook ads, or is it better to get on a Spotify playlist? And this is a really important question that has many answers. And in fact, I had to make an entire spreadsheet in order to accurately answer this question and to make sure I'm providing you the full truth about the best way to market your music. So let's finally settle the debate of which one is better, Spotify playlists or Facebook ads. Now, let me first tell you how this chart works. The marketing goal is key as to whether you're choosing the right approach or the wrong approach to market your music. And I'm going to provide a ranking system to let you know if the approach is highly effective or if it's average or not the right approach at all. Now, highly effective, it means that most artists will reach great results, whereas average is our neutral ranking, meaning that there's nothing spectacular, but also really nothing negative about using that approach to achieve your goal. And then lastly, our lowest ranking, it means what it says. It's not the right approach for that marketing goal. Let's start at the top of the list for growing Spotify followers. Should you use Spotify playlists or Facebook ads to achieve the goal of growing Spotify followers? Well, Spotify playlists, I ranked not the right approach, and Facebook ads I ranked as highly effective. And here's the reason. If your goal is to increase the number of followers on your Spotify profile in the most affordable way possible, then Facebook ads is the most effective strategy. Now, there's a learning curve to Facebook ads, but the reason that it's more effective is because Facebook ads bring you a high intent listener. They have to jump through hoops in order to land on your Spotify profile, and your follow button is right there. Whereas with Spotify playlists, those listeners are considered low intent listeners because they're listening, maybe doing another activity, and they actually have to leave the playlist and navigate to your profile and then hit the follow button and jump through all of those hoops in order to become a follower. Whereas with ads, they've already jumped through those hoops. So that's the main difference. Facebook ads provides that high intent listener that is more likely to hit follow. But let's move to our next marketing goal, which is getting affordable streams, getting the most streams possible for your budget. And the winner is actually the exact inverse for the same reasons. So Spotify playlists are highly effective in getting affordable streams, whereas Facebook ads are not the right approach. And it's that same exact reason that I mentioned. You have to jump through way more hoops using Facebook ads in order to get your user off platform onto Spotify and to hit that play button. Whereas on a playlist, they're already listening to music and they're already on Spotify. So there's a lot less friction to get that stream. And that's why Spotify playlists are so effective at getting a lot of streams. So if your goal is to increase the stream count on a specific song in the most affordable way possible, then playlist promotion is going to give you the best bang for buck. Facebook ads, they give you more control over things like demographics and age and other things that I'll talk about later in this video, but you're going to pay a premium for that. So that's why when it comes to getting affordable streams, Spotify playlists are by far the winner. Next, should you use Spotify playlists or Facebook ads to achieve the goal of finding new listeners? And I rank both of these strategies as highly effective, okay? When it comes to getting your music in front of new listeners, nothing beats either of these approaches, but they're just slightly different from each other. They're both highly effective, but playlists are going to get you more exposure faster and at a more affordable cost, like I just mentioned. But with playlists, you're sacrificing the ability to use demographic targeting. Whereas Facebook, on the other hand, has way more advanced targeting features, but it'll be at the expense of a higher cost per listener. So I like to recommend using both approaches together to balance the pros and cons of each because they're both highly effective. Now, really quick before I move on to the next one, this document I have available for you in the description below. It's totally free for you to check out. And inside the spreadsheet, I have my own thoughts and notes written out in every single line for you to use as a cheat sheet so that you can understand which method is the best for your exact situation. So check check that out in the description below, and also leave a comment if there's anything that you'd like me to go more in depth on. I know I'm blowing through each one of these really fast, and if one of them deserves a dedicated video, just let me know by dropping a comment below, and I'd love to go deeper on how to find new listeners or how to get affordable streams, for example. So just let me know, and I'm going to continue on with our next marketing goal, getting song saves. Should you use Spotify playlists or Facebook ads for this? So Spotify playlists, I gave the ranking of average for song saves. It does happen. Both playlists and Facebook ads will result in song saves, but I found Facebook ads to be more effective. And the reason for that is when you're running Facebook ads, the user is seeing some content before they stream your song. And what you're doing in marketing terms is pre-qualifying your fan before they even land on Facebook. Now, let me explain what pre-qualifying is. If they watched your ad, if they watched your video on Facebook or Instagram and they liked it, then they will click your ad and end up on your Spotify. So that means the people who are landing on your Spotify have already liked something that you've done in the past, and therefore they're much more likely to save your song. Playlists, on the other hand, you're getting way more traffic, but it's not pre-qualified. They're not seeing any of your content. They're not seeing any of your posts. They're kind of experiencing your song cold. And that's okay too, but that just means that you're getting a slightly different group of people listening to your song, and that'll result in slightly lower song saves. Next, I thought it would be fun to go through all of the metrics inside of Spotify for artists. We just talked about song saves, and next I want to talk about the stream per listener count. And if you want to improve your streams per listener, Spotify playlists is not really the right approach. I rank Facebook ads as being way more effective, and the reason for that is just hard data. On average, Spotify playlists provide around 1.5 streams per listener, whereas Facebook ads on average provide around 2.5 streams per listener. Now there's a big asterisk to this statement, okay? Now over in my profile, I'm getting 1.5 streams per listener, but I only have 3 songs released. What this is telling me is that most people are listening to about half of my catalog. If I had 20 songs released, that would no longer be half of my catalog, right? 10 streams per listener would be half of my catalog. So you kind of want to look at this ratio in relation to how much music you have released, and that will paint a better picture of how your audience is interacting with you. But with all things being equal, Facebook ads do provide a higher streams per listener ratio, so that's good to keep in mind. Next, let's talk about getting playlist ads from fans. And this is over in your Spotify for Artists analytics as well. It's right here. Getting playlist ads means someone dragged your song into one of their own playlists. And I've noticed that Spotify playlist promotion is highly effective for getting playlist ads, and Facebook ads is not really the right approach. The reason for that is if you want fans to drag your song to their own playlists, volume is key here. And Spotify playlists provide that volume. It gets you in front of so many listeners that you're just going to get more exposure, and more people will have the ability to drag your song over into one of their own playlists if they really like it. Facebook ads in comparison is just more expensive, and so it's not as effective in improving this metric. Next, let's talk about source of streams. If you want to get more in your profile and catalog section, that's right here, you're definitely going to want to use Facebook ads. That's the winner. You might be wondering, what's even the value of getting streams on your profile? Well, if users stream your music here, they are more likely to follow your music, and they're also more likely to read your bio and to interact with more of your catalog. Right now, I'm showing you my Spotify for Artists analytics, and at the time of filming this, I'm doing a heavy Spotify playlist promotion campaign right now, and I'm seeing most of my listens in the other listeners playlist category. That's totally normal because this graph just reflects the actual reality of how I'm promoting my music. So the ads that I'm running are ending up here, and the Spotify playlist promotion that I'm doing is ending up here. Now, you want to keep a balance and understand that there's no right or wrong. It just should be a reflection of what you're actually doing marketing wise. But if you are concerned that nobody is landing on your profile and catalog, and you want to make an active effort to increase the amount of streams in this category here, then the best tool to achieve that marketing goal is definitely Facebook ads. All right, next, scrolling down a bit, let's talk about Spotify editorial playlists briefly. That is the category right here. It's very hard to get into. I've not landed an editorial myself because it has very little to do with the marketing strategy you choose, and mostly to do with just how much music you have released, how established you are, and how much presence you're creating with your brand overall. Now, I only have 3 songs released, so I'm not worried about this yet. This is definitely a goal for the future. If you're just starting out, I would recommend not worrying about Spotify editorial playlists at all. That should be a far off goal that you can shelf for the time being. Next, Spotify Algorithmic playlists. Now, this is something that even beginners should start to focus on. And I found Spotify playlists and Facebook ads to both be highly effective when it comes to triggering Spotify algorithmic playlists. For example, you have the radio algorithm, the release radar algorithm, and even Discover Weekly. All of that I've seen triggered using both strategies. In general, if you're releasing great music often and you market that music, you will eventually trigger the algorithm. I was able to trigger the radio algorithm with my own music with only my second song release, so it's definitely possible for beginners who market their music right. Next, let's talk about demographic targeting. This is the type of marketing where you want to reach a specific age range or a specific type of person. Spotify playlists are not the right approach if you want to do demographic targeting because it's just not possible. Where on the other hand, Facebook ads have a highly advanced targeting feature, and so if it's important for you to reach a very specific type of fan, then Facebook ads are going to be the right tool for that. Next, if you want to do country-specific targeting, I ranked Spotify playlists as average and Facebook ads as highly effective because once again, Facebook ads provide very detailed targeting tools inside the ads platform. Now, you can do some country targeting with Spotify playlists, but you can only really achieve that based off of the language of the playlist and the language of the music that's used inside of the playlist. For example, you can have a Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack playlist that's in English, and then you can also have the same playlist titled Guardians de la Galaxia, which is the Spanish-speaking version. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but it illustrates the idea that you can sort of target by language. Next, let's talk about a very important marketing principle that extends even beyond getting streams, and that's the ability to retarget an audience. If you don't know what retargeting is, that means you're following up with people who have already listened to your music or have engaged with you in some way. And I ranked Spotify playlists as not the right approach if retargeting is important to you, and Facebook ads is very effective when it comes to retargeting strategies. Now, I will say Spotify does offer a retargeting feature called the Marquee tool, but it is only available to artists who have at least 1,000 monthly US listeners. So that's not total listeners, that's US listeners. And most artists will need to use some other marketing strategy in order to activate that feature inside of Spotify for artists. So as of right now, if you don't have 1,000 monthly US listeners, then the Marquee tool is not available to you. Now, Facebook ads, on the other hand, will allow you to retarget your audience in a multitude of ways, and this even goes beyond streams like I mentioned. You can use Facebook ads to retarget your listeners and build your mailing list as a campaign goal. You can have a retargeting campaign to grow your social platforms, or you can even retarget your listeners to sell merchandise using Facebook ads. So as a retargeting tool, Facebook and Instagram ads are so much more feature rich, and many of us won't have the Spotify Marquee retargeting tool at all until we use some other type of marketing first. Leading into the next marketing goal, this is yet another illustration of how Facebook ads is just so much more feature rich when it comes to these advanced marketing strategies. So if it's important to you to create custom audiences and to collect your fans for future communication, then Facebook ads is the correct tool. And I ranked Spotify playlists as not the right approach if you want to create custom audiences. And here's the reason. When promoting with Spotify playlists, you're borrowing someone else's audience audience for your own brand exposure, right? The playlist owner owns that playlist and owns that audience, and through influencer marketing, you are benefiting from that audience. However, Facebook, on the other hand, allows you to create your own custom audiences that you can build and own yourself. And those audiences can then be used off the Spotify platform for other key marketing goals, such as mailing list growth and merchandise sales. And all of that happens off of Spotify. So in other words, it's a huge bummer that Spotify does not allow you to communicate with your fans. Facebook ads is the best tool for that. Now, really quick before I continue to the next one, if you want this document that I've been using in this video, I have it linked in the description below. But if you are thinking that you need help figuring out Spotify playlists or figuring out how to use Facebook ads, I can help you with both of those. I have programs for both learning Facebook ads and for getting on to Spotify playlists. And if you want more information about either of those, I'm going to link them in the description below for you as well. So check them out, and I'm going to continue on with our comparison. I hope you're getting a lot of value, and drop in the comments if you want me to go deeper on any particular topic. If you think that one of these marketing strategies deserves its own video, please let me know. Next, let's talk about the ease of maintenance when it comes to using Facebook ads or using Spotify playlist promotion. And I ranked Spotify playlists as the easiest to maintain long-term, okay? And Facebook ads is probably not the right approach if you just don't like doing work, okay? When using Facebook ads, you have to keep in mind all of the data monitoring, the ad fatigue, and staying inside of Facebook's advertising policies when you are running ads. Those are all things you need to constantly keep in mind. Whereas playlist promotion is very black and white. You just need to get on good playlists and avoid bots. And once you're on a playlist, you don't really have to do any long-term maintenance. You just are on the playlist and you're going to get your streams. Whereas with Facebook ads, you have to constantly make sure that your ads are not failing and that you're getting a good result. And if you need help with that, I highly suggest checking out my Facebook ads for Spotify course. It's called the Spotify Growth Formula, and it teaches you how to run effective Facebook and Instagram ads to grow your Spotify following. I show you everything from how to set up your Meta Business Manager all the way to which videos you should create in order to create the best ad. And then I teach you how to understand all of the data that you receive inside of Ads Manager and how to optimize for the long term. If you're interested in enrolling in that course, I'll leave a link below that'll take you to an info page that just explains with raw data the effectiveness of this strategy that I've developed. It's different than anything else out on the market, and even if you've tried ads in the past and they've failed for you, I think you'll be impressed with how different and effective this strategy is. So click the link below to check out the info page, and without further ado, let's return to our comparison of Facebook ads versus Spotify playlist promotion. Next, let's take a look at whether Spotify playlists or Facebook ads is more friendly for a hands-off marketing approach. And I ranked Spotify playlists as highly effective for this, and Facebook ads just average. The reason for this is that Facebook ads is really hands-on in the beginning because you have to set up your ad account, you have to warm up your ad account using the correct style of campaign. And then once everything is up and running, then you can kind of treat it as a hands-off marketing strategy. Playlist promotion, on the other hand, requires zero upfront work on behalf of the artist. So the winner is clear. Playlist promotion from the very beginning is the most hands-off. Once you're on the playlist, you just sit back, relax, and get more streams. And it's as simple as that. Okay, the next ranking I included I thought would be really interesting because a lot of people ask me about the listeners also like section on their Spotify profile. That's the place on your Spotify profile where if you scroll down just a tad, you'll see Spotify recommending other artists that are similar to you. And it's important to a lot of artists to tailor their strategy so that Spotify algorithmically generates their listeners also like section. And I ranked Facebook ads as the best approach for this because using Facebook ads, listeners trickle in slowly over multiple months, and the Spotify algorithm can process the new data very quickly because it's coming in little by little. With playlists, on the other hand, you receive pretty much a tidal wave of listeners all at once. It's because you're borrowing an audience. You're not building it up slowly from scratch, like I mentioned earlier. And a consequence of that is it takes longer for Spotify to sort out your listeners also like trends. All right, a few more to finish up, but I hope this video has been really valuable to you. If this has helped you in any way, please consider leaving a like on this video. It really helps the algorithm. And then also subscribe to this channel so that you never miss a future video from the Indie Music Academy. It means a lot to have you subscribed, and I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can help in any way, I really appreciate that. So the last few I thought would be really interesting because I know that not every artist is identical. So I have a few categories listed here, and you should mentally pair yourself with whichever category is the best fit for you. So first I have low budget artists, and I didn't really find a winner or a loser. Both playlist promotion and Facebook ads have a fairly equal cost. But next, let's talk about content creators. If you are a content creator, then you will thrive with Facebook ads because of your video ability. If you have no problem posting on social media regularly and getting on camera, then you're going to feel right at home with Facebook ads. Whereas Spotify playlists, it's just average, very neutral for content creators. There's no pros or cons. Next, if you consider yourself a non-social media user, then it probably won't be a surprise that I simply do not recommend Facebook ads. Facebook ads require an active social media account, and so if you don't use social media at all, Spotify playlist promotion is your best bet. Last but not least, let's talk about our independent record label owners. I found that Spotify playlists are highly effective for labels because it can easily achieve that volume that's required for multiple artists. If you need a lot of streams for an artist in order to prepare for an upcoming tour or to land a booking at that highly competitive venue, then Spotify playlist promotion is the best tool for you. I also understand that label owners want to get their artists over 1 million streams. And like I mentioned earlier, the cost per stream is much more affordable using Spotify playlist promotion. And so if that's your goal, then playlists are the path. Whereas for Facebook ads, it really depends if you're a record label. And I found that success with ads is really dependent on the artists being able to provide that content in a timely manner that you would use in your ad campaigns. But if your artists are really engaging on social media, you can easily bump this up to highly effective, and you will get great results. So there you have it. Don't forget I linked the document I used in this video in the description below, and don't forget to check out this video next. If you had any questions whatsoever, just drop them in a comment below and I'll be sure to check it out. And best of luck with your music career. I'll see you in the next video.